Prey 2 tells the story of a U.S. Marshal by the name of Killian Samuels, who's abducted during the very same abduction sequence from Prey 1, but he manages to get off the alien ship in a very different way than Tommy from Prey 1 did. Killian wakes up and he's on this distant planet. He has no recollection of how he got there other than his abduction from Earth. But he realizes pretty early on that he's managed to take his skills and he's turned himself into a bounty hunter in this world. He's been there for a really long time, and the time that he's been there, he's made a number of friends and he's made a ton of enemies. He also thinks that he's the only human on this planet, but very quickly learns that he's not when he runs into Tommy from Prey 1. You will not be able to play as Tommy, but Tommy is a character in the game and you will encounter him multiple times. Essentially the story is it's kind of Killian uncovering what he was up to while he was on this planet, what he and Tommy were up to, and kind of his role in the kind of the larger universe. So the gameplay in Prey 2 is a little bit different than Prey 1. And part of the reason for that is because we wanted to explore different parts of the Prey universe. At the end of Prey 1, Tommy blows up the sphere. He basically destroys where 99% of the game took place. And this was an opportunity to really kind of push the envelope of what's in a first-person shooter and take the player someplace new. Because that's actually, for me, that was a big part of Prey 1, was we took the player someplace new and we let them do something they hadn't really done in a first-person shooter before. So with Prey 2, we're doing a very similar thing. We're taking you someplace new, and we're letting you experience gameplay that you've really never seen in a first-person shooter before. Prey 2 is an open-world game, meaning it's my choice where I go. It's my choice what missions I take, or even if I take a mission. I could choose to just explore the world and try to find kind of ambient encounters, try to find ambient bounties that I'm going to take down. So a big part of being a bounty hunter is you've got a lot of cool weapons and a lot of cool gadgets. And the game currently has well over 20 different gadgets, and there's over 40 different upgrades for those gadgets. So, and a big part of this is it ties into player choice. I get to choose where I go, and I also get to choose how I interact with these characters. So if I want to try to be more stealthy, I'll choose gadgets that encourage stealth. If I want to be a little bit more kind of guns blazing, I'm going to choose weapons that are going to be more about destructive power and go in and try to take guys down. As a bounty hunter, I'm always prepared. I've got a whole plethora of gadgets that I can use when I encounter any particular situation. So one of the very first things we want to do with Prey 2 is we wanted to have an expanded movement set for the player. I can climb, I can slide, I can jump up, and I can grab edges. One critical part of that also is the cover system. And now the cover system is very simple and very accessible. I can really easily slide to cover. When I'm behind cover, I can pop up and I can fire from cover, I can blind fire. The idea with this is we want to keep it really fast, fluid. We're calling it agile combat. So as a player, I'm going to want to move from cover to cover and take enemies down very quickly. And the faster that I do this, actually the more powerful I am, so the easier it is to kill the various enemies. There's a really wide variety of alien species in this world, and many of them carrying over from Prey 1, so people who've played that will recognize a number of these species. There's also a number of new species in this world. And this planet that we're on, Exodus, it's kind of a melting pot of all these different aliens. So there's a wide variety of them, and you get to see them in kind of different scenarios, or different situations as well. Prey 2 does feature a security system in the world. It's an open world game, so if I go around and I just kind of start blowing away random people or just start shooting people for no reason, the cops will come out and will pursue me. So, and I've got a couple options there. Of course, I could continue to fight the cops if I want to, or I could just run. And of course, if you continue to fight the cops, it will escalate and become more and more difficult. If I tend to play more like a good guy, my rep goes up a certain way. If I play like a bad guy, my rep will go down, which will have effects on kind of how various characters interact with you, what missions are available to you, kind of how, even how vendors will interact with you. If you're more of a good guy, the vendors are probably more likely to cut you a break. Prey 2 actually has no multiplayer. The game is interesting enough, and the open world stuff makes the game very large and very expanded, and there's a lot of gameplay there. The bulk of the missions actually take place in this larger open world. Prey 2 will be available sometime in 2012 for PC, 360, and PlayStation 3.